Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Max24, and it's Tuesday, which means it's time for another Tuesday Talks. Before we get into that, please always remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that jazz, all that fun stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do. And with that, let's talk about this week's topic. So this week, we're talking about G2A. Now, for those of you who don't know, G2A is an online key reseller. You type in G2A, you go to their website, you buy some keys. Most of the time, they're cheaper than if you bought them from Steam or the developer directly. But it's kind of sketchy. It's always been kind of sketchy, alright? From the onset, it's been sketchy. I've been sketched out by it. Many people have been sketched out by it. And now there's more controversy, alright? It's always been an enemy of the developers, okay? Since you're not buying directly from the developers, they're not profiting from it. Lots of the keys have been accused of being fraudulently purchased or scammed from the developers and then sold on GTA, because anybody can sell a key on G2A. I could sell a key, you could sell a key, my grandma could sell a key. I don't know what my grandma's going to sell. Anybody can sell a game on G2A, and it's just, you never know where they come from. And they're sometimes very, very, very much cheaper than if you bought it from Steam. And that just, I don't understand how that's possible unless they are fraudulent. So, they've been in the news recently a lot because there's a lot more indie developers accusing them now of all this fraudulent stuff. G2A has been criticized in the past, but currently it's very, very big. Apparently indie devs are speaking out because G2A took out sponsored Google ads. Now, again, anybody can take out sponsored Google ads, alright? I could take out a sponsored Google ad for Max24. You could. My grandma could. I don't know what my grandma's going to advertise, but anybody can. And G2A took them out for indie games, and it directed curious indie game customers to the G2A marketplace instead of Steam. Now, on the surface level, that doesn't seem that bad, right? Okay, G2A is just another key selling place. It's fine. They're just being directed to another store to go buy some keys, and then they're coming back to Steam. That's fine, all right? That happens. But it's on top of all the other criticism, on top of all the fraudulent stuff, it doesn't look very good, or it doesn't look very pretty, alright? People are being directed to G2A, the place that supposedly sells fraudulent keys, instead of being directed to Steam, which developers sell their keys and their games right on there. It just doesn't look good for anybody, because if it's fraudulent keys, then G2A is taking on Google-sponsored ads to get people to come buy fraudulent keys when that's just not good. So lots of indie devs are mad at them. They're like, we got to stop this. They're pissed off, okay? They're like, why are you pushing them there? So G2A published a blog post, and in the blog, which is titled G2A vows to pay devs 10 times the money proven to be lost on chargebacks, they published this, and they called out the main criticizer, Mike Rose, who's the main criticizer who started bringing all this stuff back up. They called him out by name, and they explained their business model, alright? But they called him out by name. So, they said that as a marketplace, its mission is to make prices for games as low as possible, and its business model is no different from marketplaces like Amazon or eBay. They also defended their business model as upholding the rights of customers to resell keys that they already own, and that if G2A didn't exist, these same resellers would simply find other marketplaces to sell their video game keys. Now that is true, alright? If G2A didn't exist, you would see game keys being sold on Amazon or eBay like you already do, but they wouldn't be sold on G2A. The problem is just G2A as a whole. But they went on to continue saying, some developers cannot accept the fact that people have full rights to resell the things that they own, G2A wrote. It's a problem for those developers, but not for us or anyone else, and certainly not for gamers who have access to cheaper products, games included, thanks for marketplaces such as G2A. So, I'm going to have to admit here, I've bought one or two games from G2A before in the past. I don't remember which games they were, but I have bought some G2A games from G2A because they are legitimately cheaper. But I've also been very cautious about it. I never put in my credit card because I'm just scared of them. I do it through PayPal. But I know deep down, maybe what I'm doing isn't good, but they're always cheaper. G2A went on to say that it'll pay developers 10 times the money lost on chargeback. So a chargeback, if you don't know, is just the reversal. It's like a return, but it's just the reversal of the funds but the key's been sold. Like, the developer's not getting any money for the game, but somebody else still has the game. And then the person who sold the key is making money off of this. But G2A said that it'll pay developers 10 times the money lost on chargebacks, but only if developers can prove that they even lost money through chargebacks in the first place. If only they can prove. That's it. It'll ask developers to submit a reputable and independent auditing company to make an unbiased examination of both sides, the developer store and G2A's marketplace. So, you know, they're trying to defend themselves here, and I understand. I mean, us as gamers, we do have a right to resell our games, alright? We should have a right. With disc copies, you were able to resell them all the time. You were always able to. I could grab my copy of Call of Duty and go sell it to my neighbor. But with the digital world, it's a lot harder to do that. And I think Steam bans selling of accounts, so it's a lot harder to do that. So selling game keys is probably the best way to do it. If you've got like a repeat game, you're not going to keep it. You could gift it to a friend, but what if they all have it, or if you have no friends like me? Then you're going to want to sell it somewhere, and G2A is just one of the best spots for people to do that, as along with Amazon and eBay. So I understand why G2A exists, and I agree that us gamers do have the right to sell our games, alright? We do. No matter if it's digital or physical, we should be able to sell our games. The stuff that we paid for, we should be able to sell and make some money off of it. Because the developers already made money, alright? They already made money when we bought the game. We're going to be making less money on selling it, but we should be allowed to do that, and that's a lot harder with digital. But the problem with G2A is the chargebacks, and people just are getting them in fraudulent ways, but that's going to be hard to stop. You can't really stop that by going through G2A unless they change some other things. G2A also said they'll build a key blocking tool to, help with all this illegal keys and stuff, so you can like block the keys and, in case they're fraudulent. But we gotta have 100 developers sign up for it. G2A, this does not show me that you care at all. Alright? Yeah. We'll work on it. We'll fix our problem if you sign right here. Just sign right here, and it'll all be fixed. G2A, you should just do it. Just make the key blocking tool. That way, people will sign up. If you say, well, we're not going to do it until you sign up, that's shady as heck. Because you got 100 devs signed up now. You don't have this key blocking tool, and you could easily be like, nah, we're not going to make it anymore. Make the frickin' key blocking tool, and then you'll get people to sign up. Don't wait for 100 devs. 100 devs before you'll even start making this tool. Now, if that's not shady, I don't know what is. Alright? I don't know what is. Then it got worse. Alright? It got worse. G2A is not helping their case. Alright? I agree with them about the reselling thing, but then they did this. Alright? They're doing more stuff. 10 indie game websites. So the big problem was indie games. Indie game buyers are being directed to G2A. That was the big problem, because indie developers, they don't have as much money as a big dev. But 10 indie game websites, like indiegames.com, claimed to have received emails from G2A asking if they could publish an unbiased article about how selling stolen keys on gaming marketplace is pretty much impossible, written by G2A. And they asked for these blog posts could be published without being marked as sponsored or marked as associated with G2A. Now, this is a rumor, okay? We don't know for sure if it's true. Of course, G2A isn't going to tell everyone that it's true, but they did. They did say this. They said, these emails were sent by our employee without authorization, for which we apologize. And the 9 other media outlets he sent this proposal to, he will face strict consequences, as this is absolutely unacceptable. All right. So, I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. So, to have these indie companies these indie news outlets write about how you can't sell stolen keys, it's like impossible. One, that's not true. It's not impossible. It's very easy to sell stolen keys. You just got to steal a key and then you can sell it. It takes like 5 seconds, maybe 6. Maybe if we're really stretching it, 7. But the fact that this man, this unnamed man, reached out and was like, publish these without any sponsored link, publish these, I wrote it. That's got some questioning, because big companies usually are very strict on what gets sent out, and something like that should not have gotten past them. So I'm not saying they did this. I'm just saying it's a possibility, a little bit of possibility, that it was G2A sending it out, and the man was the one sending it out, and then G2A got discovered about it. Somebody told the world, like, of course they would, and G2A was like, I'm just oopsie daisy, let me just backtrack a little bit. Alright, let me just fire the guy that we told to email out. Now again, I'm not saying G2A did this. I'm just saying hypothetically, G2A could have been like, send that out, but then when they were discovered, they're like, this doesn't help our case. Fire that guy. Show of force. I like it. So, obviously, this really rubbed people the wrong way, of course, and there's now a petition about a petition being created that G2A should not sell any indie games, alright? No indie games at all. Apparently, indie games make up, what, 8% of their sales? So, the petition people are like, why would you need to sell indie games? You can just sell the big guys, okay? You can just sell the big guys. Apparently, at least as of this article that I'm reading right here, I haven't looked at the actual, the actual petition, but 3,500 people had signed it at the time of reading this article, and a lot of people were tweeting at them, and yeah, so this is just, there's a lot going on here, alright, there's a lot to unpack, unravel, but G2A is not an amazing company, alright, we're just going to put that out there right now, it's just not an amazing company, alright, games are a lot cheaper on there, and I agree with their stance that we are allowed to resell our games, alright, you should not be able to stop us, big devs should not be able to stop us reselling our games. I bought the game, I should be able to choose what I do with it, but it's bad when it comes to fraudulent keys and all this chargebacks and all this bad shady stuff going on in G2A and their website. That's when it gets bad, and that's what should be stopped. We gotta somehow stop stolen keys and chargebacks and stuff from happening. These indie devs are suffering. The indie devs are suffering from that. They aren't making money. Apparently, Factorio creators lost a lot of money because of it. So the big devs, they're not going to hurt as much. But the little guys are going to hurt. If G2A actually showed that they cared, so far I haven't seen anything that shows that they care. I've just seen some shady things, and then some prove it. Just prove it. Prove it. And we'll pay you back. But prove it. I mean, I understand you don't want, like, false claims, but, like, it's going to be hard to prove it. Because now they have to hire an audit company to come and look. So that's more money. More money out the drain. Down the drain. More money gone because they got to hire an audit company now. But prove it. See, G2A, I don't got much faith in you. Alright? Especially if this whole blog thing is true and wasn't just one guy, but it was everybody. Doesn't look good for you. But yeah, at the end of the day, G2A, just stop buying from them, okay? Yeah, it's very tempting. It's tempting for me too. I look them up and I'm like, $3 for that? Versus $20 for that? Yeah, I'm gonna get it on G2A. Yeah, we gotta stop doing that, okay? Until we see that G2A actually cares, and it actually cares, and it actually does something, we need to pull back and really process it and think about it. It's not the big devs that are suffering, it's the little guys. But also, big guys and little guys, we're allowed to sell our games. Alright. We are. We should be able to. You should not be able to stop us. We should be able to sell our games. So, there you go. That's all I gotta say on this topic. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, as always, please remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that jazz, all that stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do. Follow me on social media to stay updated on everything that happens with this channel. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video.